YouTube, what is going on? Money Shift here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the WRX TR because I think you, the Subaru fan, and you, the majority of the automotive media, got this car wrong. And there really is only one thing Subaru can do that'll make this car a disappointment, but we'll get to that at the end of the video. Before we can talk about the TR and why I think it's grossly misunderstood, let's take a look at where the TR name came from. In 2006, Subaru unveiled the TR nameplate. TR stands for Tuner Ready, and it was because Subaru had their ear to the industry and understood that the majority of owners modified their WRX. Now, I'm no exception to this rule. In 2015, I had a WRX modified, coilovers, wheels, couple interior trim pieces, the exterior third brake light. Loved the thing, was a lot of fun, but definitely didn't want to keep it stock. I think it needed a little bit more, which is why I modified it. So Subaru said, hey, if you're going to modify it, why have a car that has all the accoutrements of a top trim level? Buy a TR, which was in fact lower than a base model car. It was $1,000 less than a regular WRX. It had unpainted mirror caps, base seats, base steering wheel, because Subaru knew you swapped out seats, Subaru knew you swapped out the steering wheel, and Subaru knew you swapped out the mirrors, whether you're putting Gannon doors or something else like that on your Subaru. So why pay more money when you can sell more units that have less things? That was Subaru's original logic. Loved it, thought it was brilliant. I love the original WRX TR. Fast forward to 2023, and Subaru teases us with two images. This first image showed off a wheel with Brembo brakes, which is great news because as of today, there's no WRX model for sale in the United States with Brembos. Then look at image 2, and we see Recaros. And if you're in tune to the WRX lineup, you know that today you can only get Recaro seats on the top trim GT, which costs $44,000 and among other things has a CVT only, but it has those Recaros. So personally, I started to get excited because I thought maybe Subaru was coming out with a car that was going to be in between a premium and a limited, but cater more to the modifying crowd. I was very much so looking forward to this machine. But for whatever reason, the Subaru community was up in arms. I don't know if they were expecting more horsepower, I don't know if they were expecting a completely different interior, but let's take a look at the facts. Car companies are in the business of making money, and one of the ways you can make money is leverage existing parts to enhance an existing model line. It's low cost to you because the parts have already been developed, the pipelines to produce them have already been developed, and you're incorporating them in an existing product line to make more money, right? So the moment you think, oh, I wonder if this WRX TR is going to have a different engine, the moment you think, I wonder if this WRX TR is going to have a different transmission, you're already off base. Because there's no way that Subaru would not make an STI, but make a trim level of the WRX have a different engine. A trim level of the WRX have way more horsepower. That was never going to happen. But anyway, fast forward to Subi Fest in Orlando or Florida, somewhere in Florida, and this was the response when Subaru unveiled the WRX TR to the public.
Unveil
whenever you feel like it.
the 2024 WRX TR. Wow, look at this thing. Travis wants the keys.
I do have the keys.
Bill, I have
All
a
right,
couple
I'm
of
gonna give you the
questions
keys.
for you about
Let's
this
talk
thing,
about the
though.
car for a second. Yes, you should have the keys to this car.
And I get it, okay? If I saw this car from far away, I wouldn't understand what it is. It looks, from behind a fence, like a regular WRX. So I hear you there, but we're booing something that Subaru gifted us, the community. And I'll tell you why. Let's look at what the WRX TR is. First off, it's got upgraded brakes, like we saw in this photo. But they're not just calipers, they're 6-piston Brembos in the front with 2-piston calipers in the rear. But Subaru didn't just update the calipers, no, they gave it a larger BrakeMaster cylinder. In addition to that, it obviously has bigger rotors, so it's an all-encompassing big brake kit from the factory, which is something that a Subaru owner would potentially do. Do you see where we're starting to go here with the tuner ready? Subaru's incorporating some of the things that you would modify on your car instead of doing what they did in 06, giving you the base one so you could do it. They're leaning in and getting that revenue, so I get that. But it goes further than just the brakes. They retuned the suspension, altering the damping rates, giving it stiffer springs, and they adjusted the steering rack to make it quicker. So now, okay, without any other details, we have a WRX with better brakes, we have a WRX with a stiffer spring, we have a WRX with a different steering rack. So we already have, okay, it's a retuned steering rack. So technically it's the same, but it has a different tune to it. Anyway, we have a WRX that's sportier. We have a WRX that takes care of a couple of the modifications people would already do to their WRX, but it doesn't stop there because inside we have the Recaros, which for the driver have 8-way power adjustment. They're featured in black and gray ultra suede with red contrast stitching, and they're fantastic. We love the Subaru Recaros here on Money Shift. Now, the one thing that is not included in the WRX TR is the sunroof. Because if you're modifying a WRX, whether it's for track use, autocross use, back roads, whatever, you throw the sunroof out the window because not only do you save on weight, but you have a more rigid body structure. So all good news so far. And then we make our way to the engine. Well, that remains unchanged. It features manual transmission only, which is great, and it has that same turbo 2.4-liter turbocharged engine. I said turbo twice there, but it makes 271 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. And if you're paying attention to the Subaru community, you know that this FA24 DIT engine is a power monster. The modified potential of this engine is immense. Need proof? Go check out the fine folks at Prime Motoring, located in Connecticut, who are taking this WRX to the next level seemingly every day. It's crazy the amount of power they're able to extract from this 2.4. So no added power because Subaru knows whatever they gave it, you were just gonna modify it anyway, okay? So that all makes sense. Finish it off with some 245/35 Potenza S007 tires, and you got yourself a complete package. You have a car that has revised brakes. You have a car that has revised suspension. You have a car that has revised steering and Recaros with no sunroof. So that is why this is actually a good machine. Now, what is the one thing that Subaru can do to throw this all away? Well, I'll tell you. Charge $45,000 or over for it. Right now, the Subaru WRX is one of the most special vehicles on the market today. And I know that might sound crazy, but not a lot of other car companies are offering a turbocharged, all-wheel drive, 4-door thing. In fact, the only other company to offer it sub $40,000 is the Bronco, if you consider 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive parity in terms of powering all 4 wheels. I know they work very different, but the fact of the matter is the only thing that can power all 4 wheels is turbocharged and manual, and under 40K is either a WRX or a Bronco. So when this TR came out, or comes out, if it ruins that magic, because the WRX is worth it under 35, but it's not worth it at 45. So if it ruins that magic by trying to push the WRX well into the 40s, I'm talking between 45 and 48 Gs, we're done here. We're done here. And all the kind words that I said about this Subaru WRX just don't matter anymore. Because even though it still will likely drive a lot better, stop a lot better, handle track use a lot better, it's now in the same price bracket as a Civic Type R, Golf R, and coming close to a Type S, which I've already told you in another video I think is the best daily driver under $100,000. So if Subaru finds a way to keep this car under 40 grand, you're looking at what likely is one of, if not the best, tuner option out there today. On Money Shift, those are my thoughts. What do you think about the WRX TR? Am I off base here? Should Subaru have put a wing on it? Which, by the way, The reason why we didn't get a wing like they do in Australia and some other geos is because Subaru says they've never sold the WRX in the US with a large wing, and they don't plan to start now. So that's why. Seems like a little bit weird reasoning, especially because they're offering it in other geos with the large wing. But anyway, here we are. You want it, put it on yourself. So if this is under 40 Gs, we got ourselves a winner. If it's not, loser. I'm with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on Money Shift. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.